Hello friends, Namaste. Good morning or good evening everyone. This is Lavanya Vishwanath from Australia. I'll be the host for this session with divine blessings of Dr. Brahmashi Subhash Patriji and Swarnamala Patriji. Let us start our today's session. I would like you to welcome back to the Divine Breath YouTube channel, Australia, initiative of Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement. Happy New Year 2025 to everyone. As we step into this beautiful new year, let us take a moment to embrace the blessings and opportunities it brings. May this year fill our life with peace, love, joy, and with spiritual growth. As we all know, this is the time to set positive intentions, release the past, and welcome the present moment with gratitude and hope. Together, let us continue on our journey of self-discovery. So wishing you all once again abundance of health, happiness, and divine energy. So let us now begin our session with love and light. So our senior pyramid master, Prasanna Medisetti from Houston, started narrating this book, The Power of Now, by Eckhart Tolle for the past 17 sessions. So today Prasanna Garu has shared a recording. So let us see what Prasanna Garu would be sharing today. Give me a moment. Let me share the recording.
Hi friends, welcome.
Can you all see it, friends? I just paused the video. Hope you can see it. Let me know if you can hear it or not.
Welcome back at another session to Power of Now. Last week we are talking about what we are talking the last week, that how we can enter into these portals, right? So that is what we are talking. We talked about Power of Now, we talked about silence, we talked about meditation, we talked about space, is it? So there is a couple of things that are left in that chapter. So before we go into that other chapter, so let us see what we just left in this chapter, right? So the last one we talk about is the space, right? That is the thing. So according to this Einstein also, like if we take the Einstein, he says the time and space are not at all separate. They are so what he says is the fourth dimension, the time is the fourth dimension of the space. That is, he called it as space-time continuum. That's what he called. So what you perceive externally as a space and time is ultimately illusionary. Whatever that you're perceiving externally other than that space and time is just the illusionary, but they contain the core truth. There are two essential attributes of the God, that is, it is infinity, and it is eternity. The God is eternal and you are eternal, and we are, every one of us are eternal, and it is infinite. Perceived, because what we are perceiving is, we are perceiving that they had no external existence outside you. So whatever that you are saying, infinity or eternity, is also not somewhere else. It is, you are included in that. It doesn't have an external existence. Suppose if we ask fish, where is the water? She's water. She'll say the water. The fish will say water, because it doesn't. It is not existing outside the water, so it doesn't know, right? So similarly, here if you say the God attributes are the infinity and eternity, then if you take, then if you are trying to see where is the eternal, where is the infinity, the space or anything, then it is not outside you. If you are actually trying to search outside you, then you are a failure. It is there within you. both space and time are inner equivalent to reveals the true nature. Whose true nature of you and me, as well as our own nature, it is actually doing. Whereas space is still infinitely deep realm of the deep realm. When we are in a no mind state, all the entire thing is the culprit is our mind only. When we are actually having a no mind, then actually we will not have anything. So the inner equivalent of this time is presence, awareness of eternal now. So what is how you can present eternal now? So just being this, remember there is no distinction between them. So when space and time was realized, when it is actually is happening, it is happening now at this moment. It is not happening in future. It is not happening in the past. So when you realize that, you will touch that unmanifested within you. No mind and the presence, external space and the time. So continuously existing within you. So you become, so when you started living in that moment of now, everything else will become unimportant. The world is also continuous. It is existing within you, but it will not bind you anymore. So the world is there, still it will be there, but it will not bind you to the thing. Then once you understand that you are there before, now and after, as Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you will not cling to the life. Why you will cling to the life? Whatever that comes to your life, you will enjoy. Whatever the responsibilities you need to discharge, you will discharge. Whatever that you have to do, you will do it. But you will pass on to the life, isn't it? You will not cling to the life. Oh, if I die, what will happen? Nothing will happen. I'm going to take the another body, another responsibilities. In this life, this is what I took it and I just finished. That kind of attitude, you'll be getting it. The ultimate purpose of the world lies not without the world, but transcendence of the world. It is not without the world. We are not going away. Transcendence of that world, right? Just as you would not be conscious of space, there were no objects in the space. The world is needed unmanifested to be realized. So initially the world is unmanifested. So it has to be realized. So it got, if there were no illusion, there would be no enlightenment. If there is no illusion, there won't be any enlightenment. If there is no Dvaita, you will not be understanding the Advaita. If I say that you are separate and God is separate, you are separate and me is separate, then only you can try to understand what is oneness. Because we are living in the separatedness, we can try to understand what is exactly the oneness. When there is entire thing is space, entire thing is unmanifested, everything came from that. Unmanifested knows itself. What is itself? You are here to enable the divine purpose of universe to unfold. You just need to see how the universe is unfolding. How we can go. This is how important you are. That's what we are saying. Conscious death, the important topic that we will discuss. The last topic of this book chapter is conscious death. Apart from the dreamless sleep, when we mentioned already, right, there is a one involuntary portal. Dreamless sleep is a deep sleep, right? Apart from that, there is a one involuntary portal. It opens up briefly just before your physical death. You will be able to know, right? So physical death, it will open up, because you will be able to understand. Even if you missed all other opportunities, like to touch this realization, spiritual realization, at that time, again an opportunity was given, spiritual realization during your lifetime. The last portal you will open up is before your body dies. Okay, there are countless accounts of the people who had visual impression of this portal at the radiant light, and then returned from the commonly known as near-death experiences. So we call it as a near-death experience. If I think I have bring up the topic Anita Murjani. So if I don't bring, or if we don't discuss, just Google it up on YouTube, go to the Anita Murjani near-death experience, because she's still alive. Okay, how actually the feelings, unexpressed feelings within ourselves, how the guilt within ourselves will convert into the diseases of our body. When we understand that what exactly that pure love, right, then how that disease can heal itself. She is a living example because she eloped something like that before her marriage. So she went because that guilt is there in her all the time. So it eventually it was turned out to be the cancer, and at the time of the death, right, she went into that portal. She saw, because her father died, and she saw the father over there, and he understood. He did not have any negative feelings on the daughter, but she thought he would have the negative feelings, right? But he is having a pure love kind of thing. Once she understands that, then she comes back and she is saying, it's the other world, it's only that pure love. That pure love, if you can just be here, then the world will be very good place. Many of us are actually speaking of the sense of the blissful serenity or the deep peace, like last class Lavanya is talking about. When we are in a meditation, that fraction of second we feel peace. We don't need anything, right? That's what. So that kind of peace, even before death also, they will be, everybody will feel it. The luminous splendors of colorless light, because there is a book called Tibetan Book of Dead. There it was given as how it will be, your own true self, how you can see. The portals opens up briefly unless you have encountered the dimension of unmanifested in your lifetime. You will likely miss it, because you will not understand what exactly happening unless you understand, you experience that portal of unmanifested through your meditation or anything. Then when that death comes, when the portal is opened up, you know what to do. You know why we are actually learning that after death experiences also, right? You know, once your soul has that knowledge, it will not get what do you say, it will not get like, oh my god, where I'm going. Not, you will be able to know where exactly that you are going, what you're supposed. So you will be consciously there. That's a conscious death. That's what. When that portal opens, you will not turn away with the fear. You will be consciously looking it. Once you turn away with the fear, you lose your consciousness. So most of the people, it will happen like that, because involuntarily it will open up, because these people will turn away that with the fear, because they were clinging so much to this world. So this will automatically, it goes away. So there will be another round of, because once you come out of, there will be another round of birth and death. So this presence, it will consciously, it will go on. So once you understand that conscious immortality, you can, yes sir, you can attain. So going through this portal does not mean annihilation. That's what he's asking. Is it annihilation? As with all other portals, your radiant true nature remains the same, even when you are passing through the death, but not the personality. In case, whatever real true value of your personality is, right, your true nature is shining through all the time. They never lost. Nothing is of that value. Nothing is a real, is ever lost. Nothing that is real, right, that will lost. Whatever the real, it will always be there. Approaching the death and dead itself is a dissolution of the physical form, and always as a great opportunity to spiritual realization. This opportunity is tragically missed most of the time, since we live in a culture that ignorant, we are totally ignorant of the death. Death means what? We are totally ignorant of death. So almost totally ignorant of what truly matters. That is also, we are ignorant. Every portal in the portal of death, the death of the false self. When you go through it, you cease derive your identity from your psychological mind-made form. Okay, whatever that, you cease your derive your identity from your psychological and mind-made forms. You then realize that death is an illusion. So once you understand that death is illusion, this identification of me, myself with this body is an illusion. Once you understand that, that is the end of your illusion. So the painful, you are painfully, we are painfully clinging to that illusion. Once you are coming out of that illusion, what it is there? It's nothing but enlightenment. That's what. So that is what when we are entering into that portal, we all should know it. That is the end of the entering into the other portals. Okay. Now we will begin with the next chapter, enlightened relationships. It's a beautiful topic, enlightened relationships. We all know, we all have so many relations. We are a mother, as a mother, or as a father, as a parent, as a son, a daughter, and as a wife or a husband. So many, as an aunt, as an uncle. So many relationships we are actually playing in our daily life. So what is this enlightened relationships? The relationship with our guru, that is an enlightened relationships. What it is, we will see that in this session. Okay. The enter into the now, wherever you are. So no matter what, I will start staying in the power of now, or staying in the current time, from that time onwards, from this time onwards. No, start entering into the now, from now. I always thought that the true enlightenment is not possible except through love in relationship between a man and a woman. Isn't this makes the whole again? How one's life is fulfilled until that happens. This is what the question that they are asking. So people are thinking enlightenment is not possible without that love, that relationship between a man and woman. Because when they are becoming men and women are together, that is the whole. That's what he's feeling. So how that will happen? So if without that, how that is happen? Then he's asking, Eckhart Tolle is asking, is that true in your experience? Are you really happy in that way? When men and women were united, is enlightenment is happening? Is that true happiness is happening? Are you becoming a one whole when it is happening? Is that happening to you all? Is that happening to me, to you all? If the answer is no, right? So these relationships also, it's not like completely, whenever we are not totally feeling whole. There is always something lack. If you just how do then, if it is not a whole, how do we become the whole again? In other words, you are waiting, which means that you are waiting that event to happen, that men and women together, marriage or whatever it is, that event to be happen to save you to become a whole. But it's not true. It's not true, right? Without men and becoming the hell, it's not true. It's the salvation will not happen. The enlightenment will not happen. That is not the whole. Salvation is not elsewhere. If something happened, if it is you're getting the enlightenment, if something reaching, you are getting a salvation. No, that's not an enlightenment. That's not a salvation. The salvation is within you. The salvation is enlightenment. You are already enlightened being. With all the illusions are on the top of it, you would think that you're an ordinary man. Remove all those things. Then the enlightenment will come up. What your statement here? The salvation here and now. You can have that enlightenment or salvation here and now. What is that here and now? I don't understand. What is that? What it means? Most of our people feel that physical pleasures, whatever the physical pleasures, are a psychological gratification because they believe that these things will make them happy. If I get a big home, I'll be happy. If I get a luxury car, I'll be happy. If my son got a good seat, I'll be happy. If my daughter got married, I'll be happy. So these are all the illusions. This is nothing. There's no end. These are all the, so whenever we are feeling that, we are having that feeling of lack. We want something to happen to become happy. So that is the feeling of lack. You should always be happy whatever you have, right? Happiness is not perceived by something that is happening. It's not a physical pleasure. Just you have to be complete. You have to be very, what do you say? You need to be very complete. You need to be so contented. Whatever you have, some form of that, whatever that you have, that psychological gratification. You should not need something. You should not always be need, or you should not always search of that salvation from the unsatisfactory or insufficient moments. It's not that. Invariably, any satisfaction that they obtain is short-lived. If I get a car, I'll be happy. The moment it got scratched, I'll be sad. Isn't it? So these are all the things. Whatever the thing that is giving me happiness is also giving me the sadness. This is not the one. If I am getting a very good life partner, then I will be very happy. I'll be in some cloud nine, but the moment we started some clashes, I will be gone down. So the same life partner is also giving me the thing. So that's not the whole that we are actually. When we obtain that, when we obtain this, I will be okay, is an illusion. So this mindset is creating the illusion that salvation is somewhere future, enlightenment is somewhere future. No. True enlightenment is what? Fulfillment, peace. Life all brings it fullness. Today I'm so happy with whatever I have. I'm so gratitude for all the things. That's where you are actually. The enlightenment or fulfillment or salvation will come. So you feel within that feel, you have to feel within you the good, but not the opposite. Whenever you are feeling some good, there should not be any opposite. So whenever that good feeling comes because of one thing, there should not be any opposite of. Sometimes it is giving good feeling, sometimes it is giving a bad feeling. It's not the true thing. It's not the true being actually. Okay. Every passing experience, if we are, if every passing experience, if it is, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Bad is not the actual your innermost peace. The true salvation is know yourself. You are inseparable part of this timeless, formless one life, which that exists, derives its being. There is a one good supreme in consciousness, that being. You are part and parcel of that being. Once you should understand, once you understand, the true salvation is actually, once you understand, you will not get fear for anything. Entire universe is wired. Entire universe is actually the web of the wire kind of thing. Your needs are not just your needs. Your needs are also something like all the other you're linked with all other things. Your needs will get satisfied for sure. Your needs will get satisfied. So that true salvation is getting freedom from fear. We always get fear. If that happens, what will happen? If I want to travel, what is the insurance? What is that? What is this? So many things, right? So many things, so much of fear you will be starting, you will be having. Once you are free from that fear, free from suffering, free from the lack, free from insufficiency, free from wanting, free from need, free from grasping, free from clinging. Once you're all there, that's nothing but you're even free from compulsive thinking. Always we are thinking, whether positive or negative, whatever it is, right? Free from that compulsive thinking of negativity, past and future, psychological need, anything, right? Your mind is telling, go there, go here, come, something you need it, you need that, you should be free, you should be fulfilled. Once you are that, once you are free and once you are fulfilled, that is a true salvation. That's where we should try to attain. It's saying that you need time, you need to find out, sort out, to achieve, acquire, become, understand something, because how you need to understand, you need to go, you want something, you need to achieve something. It's the kind of thing that we are actually, but salvation is also, people are thinking, you do that, do this, then I will be getting the salvation. But that salvation is within you. The truth is within you. The truth is the greatest obstacle. Whereas once you know the truth, the salvation is over. Knowing the truth is an obstacle. So you think you can't go there, then you will not go there. So you should go there. You should go, because go there, what? Go, it's not going outside. You are going inside only. You can get there because you are already there. You need to remove all your illusions. That is the part that we should always need. You are lonely without a partner here. You are lonely because the salvation means it's that is the relationship that you need to have. What is that? You need to have the relationship with you and the current moment. Now, if you are now under and you have a good relationship, then you are entering into that. Now you are entering into that salvation. There is nothing that you can ever do at time that will get closer to the salvation at this moment. Only just stand in this moment. Your mind is so accustomed to thinking, do that, do this, do that. Is it worthwhile in the future or not? You did that. So it stop that and enter into the now. That is what here for the solution. Now let's go into the relationships, love and hate relationships. Is talking about first initially love and hate. Before we go to the enlightened relationships, he is talking about the other relationships, love and hate relationships. How? Unless and until you access a consciousness frequency of your presence, all relationships, particularly intimate relationships, are deeply flawed and ultimately dysfunctional. Until and unless you understand, because you and your partner are in the same frequency, then only you'll be happy, isn't it? You should be in the same consciousness, then only you'll be happy. Otherwise, you are not happy. Right? You are deeply flawed, you are deeply ultimately dysfunctional. They may seem to be perfect for a while, such as when you are in love, you invariably apparent perfection gets disrupts arguments, because apparent perfection gets disrupted as arguments, conflicts and dissatisfaction, and emotional, even the physical violence occur with the increasing frequency. See, when you are in love, because actually all the problems when you are in love, right? Because when you are in deeply understand, when you don't understand, you are in love, right? When there are two different frequencies, all the conflicts, arguments, and all these functions will go. That means it seems that the most love relationships becomes love or hate relationships. Yeah, those will become. So love turns out to be an attack. The feelings is hostile, the complete withdrawal, the affection of the flick, that affection is becoming the flick of a switch, right? It is considered normal. You see that when there is a love, there is something here and there, this will be there. That's very normal. When there is a love, the people will fight. It is very normal. That's what we say. People will say. But here, when the relationship is oscillating between the love and hate, okay, few years is the polarities of the love is actually between love and hate. If you starting oscillating, right, it gives you the pleasure and pain. Sometimes when there is a love, it gives pleasure, and when there is a pain, it's giving you. When there is a hate, it is giving you the pain. That relationship is not in a good enlightened relationships. This is a drama in your relationships. You feel, because people feel that drama is required to be alive. If everything is normal, oh, that's not so great. So that some drama should be there. Some positive and negative polarities should be there. Some disruptive cycles should be there. Then only your love will be intensify, your frequent. So that's what people will say. But here, whenever that relationship is oscillating, because same love, same partner, same love is also giving you the pain. So it is a positive, it is oscillating between the positive and negative, right? That's not that these polarities are mutually interdependent. They are mutually interdependent, but this is not a continuous, this is not a enlightenment relationships. It's not considered as a it's not a common it's because here he is talking about the romantic relationships, not in other relationships, right? Then in this, whenever you're oscillating between this pleasure and pain, the relationships, then it's not the true love at all. That's what he's saying. Love is a continuous. Love should be continuous. Whatever the other person is doing, you should be able to continuously doing it. But that pure love is very rare, because that pure consciousness in the human being is rare. We are not actually going there. Brief and elusive glimpses of brief love, very possibilities. Okay. However, whenever there is a gap, the stream of mind is coming into that, and mind is playing all the games. The negative side of the relationship, of course, is more easily recognizable as dysfunctional than positive relationship. It is also easier to recognize the source of negativity in your partner than to see yourself, because when there is something problem, you try to see the negativity on the other partner, because always sees that the other person is the wrong. You say the reasons could be many. It could be possessiveness, it could be jealousy, it should be like control, try to control the others, or it could be withdrawal, or it could be emotional dependency on other, it should be some manipulation. Sometimes you feel like urge to argue the things, judge, criticize, blame, attack, anger, or unconscious revenge. or the past pain was all inflicted by the parent, because already there is a past pain within you, that which is inflicted by your parent. That rage or that thing is also coming into this relationship, as if sometimes it will goes up to the physical violence. That's the negative side. On the other side, the positive side in love with your partner, the first is very satisfying state. You feel that the love is so intense. The world is so unimportant to you. The existence of the entire, you feel that you are so meaningful. Your life is so meaningful. Somebody needs you, somebody wants you and makes you and feels you special. Okay. So whenever this kind of the thing is raised, the same thing, the other person is also feeling that he needs you, he or she needs you, that kind of thing, right? So when you're together, you feel as a whole, because when somebody is in a deep love, that's what will happen. You feel that it is a whole thing. That feeling becomes so intense that you don't bother about the rest of the world. Entire the rest of the world will be fades away into the insignificance world. However, you may also have noticed that that is also the clinging. It's not, again, it is saying that it's not that pure, it's a clinging thing. So when you have that kind of the pure, if you say that you become the whole, you should not, because you become the whole, now one. You should not have any other negative feelings, right? Are we living that way? Once you cling, because it is again clinging. The moment the other person started doing, that wholeness is going up. Needless to say, it is a clinging. The quality, the intense, it is not that intense love, it's a clinging quality. You become addicted to the other person. He or she is acting as a drug to you. So you are high when the drug is available, and when you are in the low when when that drug is not available. The possibility that he or she might no longer be with you, so then it will lead to jealousy, possessiveness, and you try to attempt to the manipulation through your emotional black pain, blaming or accusing, because you have that fear of loss. Because what is the fear that you have? The other person may leave you, because you are because you are so addicted to the other person, right? So you can rise the most intense hostile and the profound grief and despair if that person leaves. For instance, this loving tenderness is coming to the dreadful grief. Then is it the love? Where is that love now? The person, same thing. What happened to that? So that is also, whenever it is becoming the opposite, it's not the pure love. Okay, here it is an addictive love, or grasping or clinging. You are addictive or grasping or clinging. That's not that you are becoming, because all these things the Eckhart Tolle is talking about. Because when men and women becoming one, then that is the wholeness. That's what our audience question, right? Then Eckhart Tolle is explaining this, but that's not the whole, because he also explained the negative side of that love. He also here he talked about pure romantic love. Okay. Okay, friends, then addiction and the search for the wholeness. So, what is this addiction or the search for wholeness? Why should we become addicted to another person? Is asked. Why should we at all become addicted to the another person? Because the reason is, in a romantic love relationship, it was so intense that universally sought. It is not special to you or special to anybody. Universally sought after experience, that it seems to be, it offers a kind of liberation. It offers a kind of blissfulness. It's a deep seated thing in our thing. So liberated from the deep sea, because you feel that when you are in that, right, so you feel that complete, but you are actually, but in within you there is a deep seated, why when you become whole, why it actually becoming again the negative relationship, the negative feelings, right? Because in you, within you, there is a deep seated state of fear, need, lack, incompleteness is still there. When you become one, it is not becoming the whole, because there is always incompleteness is there. The part of the human is always unenlightened state. You are not actually, because you became one, it is not that you haven't become whole. If you become whole, that unsatisfied, that fear should not be there, right? There is a physical as well as psychological dimension to this state. There is a physical and psychological. So physical dimension, you are obviously not a whole, because when you become one with other man or woman, it's not a, nor you are ever be. You are either, because as a soul you are either man or woman. The soul doesn't have any sex. You are either man or a woman, which is to say one half of the whole. You are feeling that you are one half of that whole. On this level, longingness of that wholeness, right? That return to that oneness. What is that other half is return to that oneness. Manifests as a male or female attraction. Men needs for a woman and women needs for a man. But the thing is, within you, that muscular and the feminine energy is both of is there. So you are acting as that half only. You are forgetting the other half is also there existing within you. It is almost irresistible urge for anyone to go for the union of that opposite energy polarity. Always, for anybody, it is true that it is going for the opposite energy polarity. The root of this physical urge is also the spiritual one, the longing, because spiritually you want to longing that becoming whole, but you are actually searching the outside, all in other things. Longing to end this duality, longing to return to that wholeness is spiritually, that is what actually. But the sexual union is closest, because what you are feeling is the sexual union is very closest to whatever that you can become that whole, right? That is what we are all feeling. So that's why men and everybody's want to become one, to have that kind of this. Actually, is no more than fleeting the glimpse of wholeness. It is just instant of bliss. You will be feeling that, oh yes, you feel we are so much satisfied. We are so, that is instantaneously, it will for an instant it will happen. Unconsciously, people feel that that's the bliss, that's the salvation. Okay, that's the end of the duality form, where we cannot form. It's not the one. It's not the one. It's not the one that you are finding. You cannot find it in a separate body. At psychological level, what has happened? At psychological level, you are feeling there is a lack of incompleteness within you. There is something that you wanted to greater than this physical one, greater than your mind needs something else. Externally, it is deriving the pleasure with something else. That is why whenever you are within in the relationships, you emotionally depending on, you are emotionally clinging to the other person, then ultimately you feel that there is a psychological level, you feel one, you feel whole. Ultimately, there is nothing to do who you are, but these are all the things are nothing to do who you are. Your social role, your role, whatever your manager or a minister or prime minister or a president, these roles are nothing to do with yourself. Your possessions, external possession, how big of your home or how luxury of your car, nothing to do. Your external appearance is nothing to do. Your success or a failure is nothing to do. Your belief systems are nothing to do to define what you are. This is all your mind is playing the game. This is a false mind-made self, ego. It feels vulnerable. You feel vulnerable. You feel insecure. You feel new things to identify that the feeling exists, right? Both here it is nothing. This is whenever you are, this is not giving you the long-lasting fulfillment. The fear is remains the same. You are still remaining the lack of needless. Lack is there. That needliness is also there. When that, but then that special relationships that special relationships come along, it seems that the answer to all ego problems is to meet all needs. Is it possible? At least how it appears to be first. So initially, all the needs let me satisfy, then we will be happy. This is how you will become. You are now single focal point replaces them all and gives the meaning of your life. It gives the meaning of your life through which you define your identity, a person you are in love with, because you feel that, because at that moment you feel the whole world is in front of you, you are so happy. So that's how you define, but you're no longer disconnected fragment in uncarving universe. or so it seems. You seems that you both are separate and but you are not actually separate. You are all with everybody else, with all people only. You are actually clinging. Your world is no, it has a sense because your total world is the world of web, and you're all connected. So in the fact that center is outside you, and and that therefore you still have externally derived sense of self, does not seem the matter first. Does not seem the matter at first. What matters is underlying feelings of your incompleteness, your fear, your lack, your unfulfillment characteristic, or your egoistic characteristics is the problem. So first we need to address that. So if you're in any relationships, if you are with these feelings, then that's not a pure love. That's why the mother's love, people will say it's a pure love, because mother completely the child, because whatever the child will do, they'll say they want, you want the child should grow, you want to give complete love to yourself, right? That's why they say, because complete without expecting anything, the mother can do it. That's why it says the pure love. But if in this love also, if you're expecting some, because I did that for you, so you have to do that for me, then that is also not the complete. Now it is again emotional blackmail, right? So the opposite of love is emotional violence, emotional attack. So these are all the, so we are actually confusing with the love with this attachment or the ego or a clinging. With all this addictive clinging, we are actually instead of all these things, in place of that, we are making that as a love, but that's not the one. You cannot you cannot love your partner and say next minute I'm not loving you. You cannot say that. Then it is not the pure love. Whatever the partner is, then you should be able to love. That's the true love. True love doesn't have any opposite. It is always, it doesn't have any ego. So it doesn't have, it has a deeper sense of that self, right? So needless to the other person meets your needs or not. So then if you can, that is the kind of love that he's talking about, that we need to have our with whom we can get. That is the kind of relationship that he is actually talking about. Otherwise, all other relationships, we feel temporarily that, oh, we were salvation, we got good relationship, all that, but these are all very temporary. So I'll stop here. Want of time, we will continue this chapter in the next session. Okay, friends? Any questions? I'll take it now.
So friends, so I think today Prasanna Garu is not available to take questions. So please keep your questions next for the next session. You can ask her. She'll be on. So hopefully you guys all come up with your questions prepared, and so that Prasanna Garu will be able to clear those. Until then, so see you all next time again for the session. Once again, Happy New Year, friends. So I'll end the session here.